And she just entered the chat 38 minutes ago on a post. I'm gonna read it for you. Groom sister here. I've never been good at being fake or pretend.
Guys, let's look at this video together and let's see this particular lady in a green dress. Let's look at her reaction and now we're gonna judge. Is there something wrong with the way she reacted to the bride dress? Or there's nothing wrong, or she reacted right? Because people are dragging her because of her reaction on that day, that particular day, because she reacted that way on the bride dress. That particular video went viral, and people are dragging her like, if you know you don't love the bride, why are you there? Why are you part of the bride's bridesmaids? So let me show you guys the video and let's analyze it together.
Thanks.
Is there something wrong with our reaction? I'd like to know what you guys think about our reaction. Because people are judging everybody's reaction there and they are just looking at our own and they're like, you're a hater. You're a hater. Why are you there if you know you don't love the bride? Everybody's tearing up and you are looking awkward. You're looking like you're not happy for her. Why are you there? Why are you part of the friends, the bridesmaids and all of that? Is there something wrong with the way she reacted to the dress? Mind you, guys, she's not actually the bride's friend. We later come to find out that she's the bride's she's a groom's sister. She's a groom sister, so she's a sister-in-law that the family begged her to be part of the bride's bridesmaid so that they can be much, you know. So I'm sure probably they must have done some arrangement. Maybe the brides must have said, "Oh, I'm going to do a review of my dress and I want you guys to show your emotions." Maybe she wasn't there when they planned everything. I'm just thinking. And when she turned around and everybody's just like, "Oh my god." Oh my, and she's like, "What is wrong with you guys?" It's not that deep. Is there anything wrong with that reaction? Let me know what you think about this video down in the comment section. I have some interesting reactions to share with you all. People that are saying there's something wrong. That if I have somebody like that, I would run. And some people are like, I would react like that even if it was my sister. Let me know what you think about this video down in the comment section respectfully as always, and I will see you at the end of the video.
All right, so this particular video is going viral because the bride did her dress reveal and one of the girls on this video was not feeling it and you could see it all over her face. Well, turns out said girl was the groom's sister and she just entered the chat 38 minutes ago on a post. I'm gonna read it for you. Groom sister here. I've never been good at being fake or pretending, so I'll get straight to it. After being lied to and coerced into being a bridesmaid for a woman I did not know, and still don't, she put in parentheses, I got overwhelmed with information that I was not aware of less than 30 minutes before this video was taken. To avoid bringing disgrace to either families, I will not elaborate further. I want to make it clear that after, she put that in bold letters, after the information I received that morning and being treated so poorly by other members of her family, that entire weekend, I had to force myself to keep a pleasant countenance. Let me go. For the sake of my loved ones. This was honestly the best I could do. Hope everyone has whatever kind of day they deserve. Sincerely, Big Green. Yeah. Oh well.
This girl came on my For You page telling me about this green dress bridesmaid thing or whatever, and you know, she told me you know, obviously she was talking to me. She told me the response from the girl in the green dress or whatever, but she didn't show the video. So I had to go look up the video myself. And when I watched it, I didn't see anything wrong with her reaction. Like, when I was looking through the comments, everybody's like, oh, so I'm not the only one, you know, like, I seen it too, y'all. Like, it's always a hater. She didn't seem much of a hater to me. I mean, and she did come out and she said, like, she received some news beforehand and she don't really know the bride like that and blah, blah, blah. She the groom's sister. But I'm not saying, like, if my friend, well, they're not friends, but if I don't have no brother either. I can't really put myself in her shoes, but okay, so let's say one of my sisters got married and she unveiled her dress to us on camera or whatever. I don't think I would cry either, honestly. And that's my actual sister. That ain't even her sister. But she wasn't the only one in the video who wasn't doing all the crying shit. Like, that girl at the end didn't cry either. So I don't know. I think the comments is the haters. Y'all want everybody to put on a show for everything. Like, no, she said she looked happy, she smiled. What else do y'all want her to do?
First of all, I want to preface this by saying that I don't know, like, the dynamics in that video, but the reactions in the comments triggered me. This is why people with social anxiety or generalized anxiety just be staying at home, because of this type of reaction in the comments. Like, y'all ain't never seen nobody that's awkward before. It's like black women are not allowed to be socially anxious or awkward. Like, when I saw that girl, I saw me. Like, I feel like that's how I would react. Like, I am genuinely happy, but I'm also anxious. Like, people are saying, like, maybe she doesn't know the people, like, all her bridesmaids. I feel that because that's how I react when I'm in an area where I'm like, I don't really know these people, but I'm here for someone that I love, you know? And it just kind of triggered me because it was like, y'all have no capacity to think further and to see that maybe the person was uncomfortable. Like, why does it have to be she's a hater? Like, I don't know.
Okay, I've seen a lot of discourse about this video, and honestly, I think everyone's just overreacting. Not everyone cries when they see someone in a wedding dress. Me, I cry. I bawled like a baby at my sister's wedding, but not everyone cries. Some people are just happy to be there. She didn't seem rude. She smiled. She just didn't have an overly big reaction like everyone is expecting everyone else to have, which is fine. I think it's fine, but also I'm a crier. I probably would have been on the floor bawling like a baby, so I don't know, maybe it's a hot take, but I don't get why she's getting all this hate, especially because she's come out and said that she doesn't really know her. She's just going to be her sister-in-law. Like, that's who her brother's marrying. I don't know. Like I said, it might be a hot take, but I don't see anything wrong with her reaction.
A lot of creators have dragged the lady in the big green dress for not acting right. She looked like she was not feeling that moment, or she was just like, something was off about her, right? She didn't roll her eyes, she didn't look angry or anything. She was she was smiling, right? And at some point, she's clapping. I watched the video again. Then I go, majority of the ladies were being overly performative, which was what caught my attention the first time I saw the video. Like, why are you crying this much? It's a dress. It's not like you're seeing your friend's baby for the first time. It's a freaking dress, right? But one thing to take note is her reaction when she sees everybody else crying. She looks confused, like, are we supposed to be crying? Are we supposed to be crying this much? The dress is gorgeous, don't get me wrong. But why are you being this dramatic over a dress, right? Look at the woman standing close to the lady in the big green dress, right? She knows the assignment. She understands the assignment, but she was trying to not be overly performative. So she's just a little bit lukewarm. And everybody else was doing too much. It was like the bride had told them that when you see me in my dress, everybody gotta cry, right? But I don't think the lady in the big green dress knew about the plan, or she just didn't understand the seriousness of that request from the bride. I have seen brides request that, girls, if you see me in my dress, you better be crying. You know, I didn't think that people not take it this serious where they actually like bawling, like crying. Like, you done all that makeup only to cry that much. Like, come on. Pay attention to all the girls' faces. One of them looked at the camera before she started crying. Are we so disconnected from reality that the one person that had a natural reaction is who we are dragging, not the ones being overly performative? Like, look at them. We are so used to seeing faked, scripted, and staged moments that we are now dragging the one person in the room that had a natural reaction. The bride says, when you see my dress review, cry. Two of them says, say less. There's nothing you can tell me. Whoever edited that video did that on purpose. They wanted the lady in the big green dress to be dragged by the internet. Like, they could have cropped her out and gotten all the reaction they really wanted. But they had to put a sprinkle of drama. Another thing to take note is the lady in the big green dress is not even friends with the bride. She's the groom's sister. Her presence in that room was a request from her family. Like, she doesn't know the bride, she doesn't want to be on the bride's train. But her family requested. And she just grudgingly joined the party. Had she known that this is what's going to happen, she would not have joined the party. She wasn't even feeling the entire moment. A lot of drama had happened leading up to that moment. So she did the best she could for the camera. And they still made her look bad. And she didn't leave her for some strange reason. Especially with the way the video was edited. And you cannot tell me that the bride did not see this video before it went out. Why would you let your sister-in-law be portrayed like that, like she was not happy to be there? And so far, the bride has not said anything in the defense of her sister-in-law. It makes me believe everything the sister-in-law said. You cannot tell me this whole thing was a mistake.
I was scrolling on my FYP this morning and I just so happened to come across this creator's video. Now, in her video, she's discussing a video that went viral for a bride's first look. The bride was showing her bridesmaids her first look, and one of the bridesmaids seemed less than enthusiastic about the first look. The reason I'm saying seeing because in that particular creator's video, she did state that the bridesmaid reached out and kind of gave a backstory, a short little synopsis on why her reaction was the way it was, and it had nothing to do with her hating on the bride or anything like that. But that's not what this is about. This is about a story time, because as I was going through that particular creator's comments, I came across this comment right here, and they said, I don't believe in making siblings bridesmaids and groomsmen unless there's real relationships between the groom, bride, and sibling-in-law. And I said, well, baby, it's my time to shine. Because I couldn't respond to that video with a comment, here I am. And me and my sister was supposed to be bridesmaids up in my deceased brother's wedding. And the rumor is that the bride kicked us out, but baby, family and friends, I guess it's finally time to let you guys know that's not true. We took ourselves out of said wedding. Now, I ain't gonna really speak for my sister, but I'm gonna speak for myself right here. Prior to them getting engaged, prior to their engagement, there had been some like minor little altercations there. So there was like some pressure built up. This is just my assumption because she didn't have a lot of close family. She had more friends than anything. That she was kind of jealous of how close knit our family was. But that's neither here nor there. Again, that's my assumption. Basically, her behavior started to give off that she was threatened by us, and she even threatened to get physical with me at a point. So I was just like, well, you know what? I gotta protect my peace, girl. I don't even have to talk to you. What am I doing here? But she later on apologized, so we left the beef on the table. So they ended up getting engaged, and then while at their engagement party, that's where they presented the bridesmaids and the groomsmen with their little proposals. Will you be my bridesmaid? Will you be my groomsman? And me and my sister was presenting one to be bridesmaid. Obviously, we were excited because we were actually the only two blood relatives of my brother that were going to be in the wedding. Everybody else was like her friends, her family, people she went to church with. I think maybe one or two of my brother friends or something like that. Now, I will say, don't quote me on this part right here because I can't really remember. But from the gate, they started like this group text thread of all the bridesmaids. They stated that the bride would not be involved in the text messages just because they didn't want to stress her out. And then it was some things that I guess they wanted to do without her being present or knowing about or whatever. So me and my sister were included in it. Then they also told us that we were going to have a bridal fee of $500. Now that bridal fee was going to cover dress and shoes. That was it. It was not going to cover makeup. It was not going to cover hair. All of that was going to be your responsibility. At the time, I was a single parent of 2 kids. I mean, my brother knew that. She knew that. The $500 was steep for me. But I knew I was going to be able to make it work because of how their wedding was. Income tax was going to kind of fall on that half mark. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to just pay my whole $500 when income tax comes. Not to mention I didn't immediately want to say no because again their wedding was like a year out and I wanted to be there to support my brother. But bringing it back in, one day me and my sister were on the phone. I can't remember if I asked her or she asked me, but we were like, okay, if the $500 is only for dress and shoes, I know a dress and shoes is not $500, so what is the rest of the money for? Now we were told don't reach out to the bride with any questions or anything like that. If we have questions or something like that, to reach out to the maid or the matron of honor. And I also want to say this too, they had the money like on a payment plan, so it wasn't per month. I don't know if it was like per every 3 months. I can't remember, but you would submit a payment. And so from the time of the engagement party to the time of when this situation, what I'm gonna end up telling y'all happened, I think 2 payments had to be made by that point. But anywho, me and my sister on that phone call, and I'm like, I done been in quite a few weddings and I've never paid $500 just for a dress and shoes. My sister said me either. So I reached out to the matron and I was like, hey, I have a question. What are all the fees going to? I know the dress and shoes, but are they going to something else too? She couldn't really give a straight answer. She was like, oh, bridesmaids have fees. Bridesmaids have what kind of fees? Like, it's my money, so I deserve to know, like, what are they breaking down for? Now, I wasn't being confrontational. I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm just curious because, you know, I've never had to pay a fee that high to be in a wedding. And I've even been in weddings where a dress was made from scratch and it wasn't that high. So she was like, oh, I have to get with the maid and we'll be able to explain it to you. Now that conversation had came and went. A payment was due. I did not pay. I can't remember if my sister paid her. But then in the midst of that, another payment came due. When that other payment came due, the matron picked up the phone. She gave me a call. She said, hey, I was just wondering what's going on with you and your sister payment. And I said, hold on, my sister is a grown woman. I'm not going to answer for her, but I can answer for me. Right now, things are tight. And that's why, you know, a few weeks or a few months ago, I had asked you what exactly was the money going to. to know how urgently it needed to be paid. But I'll have the whole thing paid before the deadline because income tax is coming up and I was just gonna pay the whole $500 then. You know, I'm a single parent doing this on my own. So she was like, oh, okay, well, I truly understand. She said, I'm sorry I never got back to you, but I'm just gonna go ahead on and have a discussion with the bride. Then we'll be able to get back to you. So I was like, okay, cool. Our conversation was very nice, very cordial. And then I want to say the following day, we get a text in the bridesmaids group chat. And it says, hey, it's going to be a bridesmaids conference call. Please let us know if you could attend. If you can't, let us know that too so we could rearrange or change the schedule of the meeting because we want to be sure everybody can get on. So once everybody confirmed their time, they said that the bride will be on the call because she's been informed that there are some questions and she want to be able to answer them. Okay, cool. So immediately when the call starts, if I'm not mistaken, they open it up with prayer. And then the bride says me and my sister name, and she was like, I heard that y'all had some questions about what the money was going to. So we were like, yeah. So she said, okay, so like stated, shoes, dress, a bachelorette party that was going to be in Vegas, some type of bridal barbecue, and something else dealing with her. It was all things for her. Now, I know in certain cultures, you know, it's tradition for brides to do that, groomsmen to do that, but I feel like that should be stated up front because that way you can be clearly informed of what it is you're going to be paying for, and you can decide if that's something that you want to do. But here we are a few months in now, with a few months left to go before the wedding, and you're saying these things. So I was just like, oh, I wasn't aware of that. So she was like, well, you know, is that going to be a problem? And I said, well, no, I'm still interested in participating. I want to be there for my brother. All of a sudden, a voice comes through, like, kind of interrupts me, and it's her maid of honor. And the maid of honor said, well, didn't you say you didn't have the money? Didn't you say you wasn't going to have no money to income tax? First of all, I didn't talk to the maid, so let's start there. I'll talk to the matron. But secondly, I didn't say I didn't have any money, because I currently had money. What I said was I was going to pay this money for my income tax. I said money was tight. I never said I didn't have it. So I said, excuse me, who's talking? So when she said who was talking, I said, did I talk to you? No, you talked to the matron, and the matron told if I didn't talk to you, you shouldn't be saying what I said because you wasn't on the phone when I said it. Now, if the matron would like to say what I said, that's all fine and dandy. So matron chimes in and say, yes, you did say that your money was tight and that you were going to be able to pay it. I said, but did I say I didn't have no money? She said no. So I said, okay. I said, I'm just confused as to why we're having to pay for all of this stuff. And my sister was trying to push through a few times, but you know, I'm the older sister, so she wasn't really getting through that. So the bride said, well, you don't have to do anything. You know, you don't have to be in the wedding. I said, I know I don't have to be in the wedding because it's my money. What I said was I wanted to be in the wedding to support my brother. I just didn't realize that all these fees was going to pay for stuff for you. But baby, it seemed like you just don't have the money. And I don't know, I kind of saw red at that moment. So I don't know if I was like, if you in your wedding. I don't know if I was like, I don't want to be in your funky ass wedding anymore. I really don't remember what I said. But I know I said something to the extent of, well, I'm not going to be in your wedding anymore. Simple as that. And I hung up my phone. Now she got off of the phone. She ended up calling my sister. My sister said they talked for about 10-15 minutes. She pretty much was like, oh, so you don't want to be in a wedding because Paris not being in a wedding? And my sister was like, no, that's not it. I just don't like how this whole situation was handled. So naturally, I reached out to my brother. My brother response to me was, y'all are women. I'm not getting involved in women's mess. Okay, cool. So we're not gonna be up in the wedding. Now that my brother is deceased, do I think back on it and regret it a little bit? Yes. Especially because we missed the actual ceremony. We went for the reception. And at the reception, she was very drunk and my family got to see a glimpse of her true colors. And on top of that, she a witch that do voodoo and the reason my brother is deceased. But we're not even gonna get into that. If you've been following this page long enough, you done heard the story. He actually died 4 months after their wedding. But anyway, I'm saying all of that to say this. The person who put that comment, you are 1000% correct. Even if there's a little bit of bad blood, tread lightly. Asking your sibling to be in the wedding of somebody you know there's even a little bit of bad blood with. But also brides, be transparent. I mean, I don't know this bridesmaid situation with her brother and the bride, but I know in mine there was a lack of transparency. No, I couldn't expect my brother to go over our head, especially because we ended up finding out shortly after that they had gotten married in secret, so the wedding was just a formality. So at that time we were arguing, they were already husband and wife. So yeah, he had his wife back and I would never cold water him for that, as you should. But I don't know, man. You know, wedding parties be insane with the wrong people. It be insane. And then yeah, Miss Mama's had nerve enough to be saying she put me and my sister at the wedding. Girl, I told you if you in that wedding. And I'll say it again. Duh.
Since y'all insist on being insufferable about Big Green or the bridesmaid in the green dress, some of y'all doing too much. This one right here, for example, I see nothing wrong with her reaction. You mean to tell me this is appropriate? And here's the joke. Even she knows she was inappropriate because she made a statement and she had to explain herself because she knew what her face looked like. She knew that what she felt like on the inside showed up on the outside. Because if she thought that her reaction was fine, she would not have made a follow-up. She wouldn't have made a statement, especially to call herself Big Green. And so many of y'all being okay with how she behaved lets me know y'all not girls. Because a girl's girl would not have ruined that moment, because that video is forever. Not unless they choose to edit her out of it somehow, spend a lot of money to edit her out of it. But why even do it? She should have said no. But now she's caught and it's there forever. But some of y'all I wouldn't want showing up at my funeral. Ew.
Not everybody is emotional. Not everybody shows their emotions. And the thing is, if you're expecting everybody, you have in a room, you have like 6 women, and you want them to express their emotion the same way, there's something wrong. Because it's not possible that if something tears you up, maybe something make you tear up, and you expect the next person to also be crying at that spot, you're not serious. Because some people might not even process it at that point. It might even be later on. Maybe later they will just be like, "Oh my god, okay, now I feel what actually happened at that moment," and they will start tearing up. Some people don't even tear up; they hold their emotions, they hide their emotions, and all of that. she's she doesn't look to me, or she doesn't look like she was hating. She smiled, and what made that kind of awkward look was the fact that everybody was like, "Oh my god," everybody was crying, and she was like, "Okay, now I can't cry." So maybe that's what made her do that. But I don't think she hates the bride, or maybe she doesn't like the bride. That is why she made that look. And the thing is, you don't expect everybody to have the same reaction for you as a bride. You don't expect all your friends. Let's assume she's even your friend. You don't expect all your friends to have the same reaction when they see you on your wedding gown. They don't have to have the same expression. They don't have to cry. Not everybody will cry. Not everybody will cry. Some people don't cry. Some people will not even cry if they lose somebody. Talk less of, they will not see you in your wedding gown. They will not cry. They'll be happy for you. They know that you look very beautiful. They know in fact, they will even tell you look beautiful and all of that, but they will not cry. They will not fake the tears and be like, "Oh my god." No, they won't do it. It's not everybody that will express themselves like that. So for me, I really did not see anything wrong with what she did. And the fact that I now finally realized that she's the groom's sister, then I'm like, she even tried. She even tried. She doesn't even really, really, really know the bride. She doesn't really know the bride. She's not close to the bride. She just decided to be part of the bridesmaid, and boom, the reaction that, and she's not going to fake it. Imagine if she's not crying, and everybody was like, this lady in the green dress doesn't even know the bride, and she's crying as if she's the bride's best friend. Honestly, not everybody is a hater. Not everybody that you see that does not do what you want them to do hates you. Not everybody is happy like, "Oh, this one is my enemy." They are not really your enemy. They're just expressing the way they want to express how they feel at that moment. At that moment. Personally, for me, I'm not that someone that will just be tearing up at any time. Anything can make you tear up, and sometimes you might not even tear. You might be expecting to tear up, and you don't tear up, and doesn't mean that you're not happy for your friend, or you're not happy at the moment, or you're not happy about what is going on at that moment, or you are not sad. It might even be sad. Maybe it's something that you have to cry because you're sad, and you're not crying at that moment, and maybe you go and cry later, or maybe when you process the whole thing you cry later. Some people don't even see any big deal in wedding dress, so when they see you with on the wedding gown, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, your gown is so beautiful. Oh, you look very beautiful. Oh my god, my friend is getting married. Oh, yay." Period. You don't have to start tearing up and crying. And I just feel like not everybody would have the same emotions or the same reaction as you expect them to be, unless it is a planned walk. Maybe you, the bride, you've already planned it, because brides always plan this thing. Because they want to have a very picture perfect, video perfect on their wedding day. So they will now tell their friends, "Okay, this is what's going to happen at so period. So when I turn around, you guys must tear up." So it is, if it's, unless it's a planned walk and she does not care if you want to cry or not, just pretend as if you're crying, then maybe they should have hinted her and tell her that, "Okay, you know what, this is what's going to happen at this moment, so you have to pretend like you're tearing up." And for me, I just feel like that, why are you doing that for the show? Why can't you allow your friends to express themselves the way they want to express their emotions, to them seeing you on the white dress? Anyways, let me know what you think about this video down in the comment section. Do you think, in as much as she's the groom's sister, she's still supposed to show a lot of emotions? Do you think that the way she reacted shows that she hates the bride, or she's not feeling the wedding? Let me know what you think about this video down in the comment section. Respectfully, as always, your girl Myra Davies, and thank you so much for tuning in to this video. I hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe. I'll see you in my next one, guys. Bye.